Good evening and welcome back to another episode of the Final Flight podcast. We have the final, number 8, the final show of our Cheltenham Festival Countdown show. We've got another fantastic guest on, jockey Sean O'Keeffe. Good evening, mate. How are you, mate?
Hi, thanks very much. Thanks, lads. Thanks for having me. Yeah, glad to
Yeah,
be,
good man.
be on here.
Good lad. Yeah, obviously, we've been well supported by the jockeys and, you've given up your time to come on and just chat to us. It's brilliant. We really do appreciate it. So, mate, for that, we've obviously got Rich on and myself and Joe. Joe's back for 2 in a row.
Special guest.
I can't believe it, but it's good to have you on, mate. Good to have you back. The plan for this show, then obviously the final show, we're going to talk a little bit about the Champion Hurdle and the Champion Chase. We're going to go through some of Sean's rides and horses that he's associated with the views to down the line, a couple of horses to follow, things like that. And then we'll give our final ante-plus selection, even though the teams do look a little bit shaky at the moment. We're going to try and finish strong. But before we get onto that, obviously, I'm going to come to you first, Sean. The Champion Hurdle is one of those races right now that could turn out to be one of the races of the festival. We obviously got Constitution Hill for the UK as a favourite. We've got potentially Brighter Days Ahead going here, or the toss-up between here or the Mares. We've got Lossiemouth and Stateman and behind a sort of a couple of bigger those. In your opinion, I mean, obviously you rode in the Irish Champion Hurdle, second on Danny Longley's. What did you make of that race, and the whole picture of the Champion Hurdle? What do you think, mate?
Look, I suppose I really hope Brighter Days Ahead does turn up here, because it has the makings of a really cracking race. I think her performance at Christmas is the standout performance of the year. Look, I suppose Constitution Hill is definitely the best horse in the race. He probably maybe hasn't shown he's back to his best this season yet, but he probably hasn't shown us any reason that he can't be either. So, I think it's the makings of a really good race, and hopefully they'll all turn up. The mares will turn up here as well, and it'll really have to show that Constitution Hill is what the same horse he was before. Regarding the Irish Champion Hurdle, I rode Daddy Longlegs in it, and I suppose it probably looked like that. The three of us didn't really go with the two lads early on, but I thought they went a very, very strong gallop early. Up past the stands and away from the stands. They probably slowed it up maybe a shade around the bottom bend in Leopardstown, but they had gone at it, and in fairness, Stateman was jumping and travelling very well as well. I think you could definitely put a line through his run at Christmas. And look, then it was a pity what happened to Lossiemouth. Look, hopefully she seems to be fine and everything after that. Probably not an ideal preparation for her on the back of a fall to go into a champion hurdle, especially of this caliber. On that, look, it's probably hard to know a Stateman good enough to beat Constitution Hill. Maybe not. He maybe hasn't been his best in Cheltenham in previous years either, but it definitely has the makings of one of the races of the festival, I think.
Yeah, I agree with all your points there, mate. I do really hope Brighter Days Ahead goes here on Lossiemouth and Stateman. Obviously, I mean, Rich, I'll come to you quickly. You've obviously been a big advocate of Lossiemouth all season. It's obviously not an ideal prep going into this Champion Hurdle off the back of a fall. What are you hanging your hopes on, really?
Willie Mullins pulling something out the bag, potentially. Not ideal. Very, very much so. You don't want to be going to a Champion Hurdle off the back of a fall, but I was happy for the 9 furlongs that she did travel in the DRF. It was one mighty hell of a fall, but thankfully she seems to be all right. And yeah, they're still progressing with the Champion Hurdle route, so it's what she's been trained for. And if anybody can train her right, it's Willie Mullins. So fingers crossed. I still believe they should have beat Stateman if she just stayed up. So that is the hope that I am still clinging on to.
We'll never know. I mean, I'll swing back to you quickly, Sean. Obviously, you were staying on to be second behind Stateman. Did you think Stateman, was he finishing tired? Was he just kind of eased down by Paul? What do you make of that?
Look, he definitely wasn't as tired as what it looked. He is a very laid-back horse, and I'm sure when Lossiemouth fell, obviously Stateman himself would have eased off the gas a lot, and I think Paul was probably happy enough to let him do that as well and just pop home. Look, it's hard to know. I probably would have thought going into that race, Lossiemouth would win. But look, I don't think Stateman definitely didn't do anything to damage his credentials. I wouldn't be worried at all about him. People saying maybe he looked very tired. I wouldn't be worried about that. I'd be taking positives that he seemed to travel and jump really well at a strong pace, which he didn't do at Christmas behind Brighter Days Ahead. He never travelled and didn't jump with any real fluency down the back straight that day. But at least at the DRF, he was jumping and travelling and was really in the game. So, but I wouldn't be worried about him looking like that. Was finishing tired.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, to be fair, he did well to stay up. I mean, Lossiemouth, I know obviously the fall nearly brought him down a little bit. I mean, I come to you, Joe. You put Lossiemouth up originally for the mares. You thought she'd eventually sort of switch, I think. And it looks like they're both going to go away now. But would you say Stateman, Lossiemouth maybe fighting out for third? Bright Days Ahead's going to take them obviously along with maybe a pacemaker in there from King of Kingsfield. Are they going to beat Constitution Hill? We've just seen a gallop, a racecourse gallop. We love them, don't we? We love seeing them not racing. But what do you think, mate?
Mate, the racecourse gallops. I've seen someone put on Twitter, Constitution Hill's arrived with shin guards on. What a negative. Watch him drift in the market. And I'm like, what is Twitter at this point? I think the thing that makes this race exciting is the horses, Bags of Potential is in Brighter Days Ahead. We've never seen Lossiemouth in this sort of level, I don't believe, over this trip. Constitution Hill, can he get back to his best? They've all got question marks. But we all know that they're very classy animals. So even though Constitution Hill is that sort of concrete favourite, there's still a question mark over him. Is he back to his best? I think they all fancy their own chances in their own sort of ways. I can't see Brighter Days Ahead going for the mares. I know you could draw a line behind Stateman's performance behind her over Christmas, but I thought that was absolutely... it was, in my opinion, like you say, you can draw a line over, but that was the performance over Christmas. That was absolutely brilliant. For her to do that, I mean, why not? I think they'd be daft to go on the mares. Lossiemouth, like Sean said, and Rich, not ideal going into the race for a fall, but Willie said, they've sort of targeted this race for 2 years now, and she's got to take a chance. Stateman's there. Whether he can serve it up to Constitution Hill, I think that's the only matchup where I don't believe Stateman can peg back Con Hill. I think they've tried multiple tactics. It sort of hasn't worked, but we'll see. And then obviously Con Hill with a gallop today against Aston Martini, and the other horse pulled away and everyone's waxing lyrical. We'll all see in 2 weeks' time. I can't wait. Tactics, where people land, jumping, everything, keen, whatever. I can't wait. And I think the Raw, I think it could set up to be the race of the festival.
Yeah, man, I do agree. Let's hope they all go there in the end and put on a show. I think Constitution Hill will win personally, but it's going to be some race, so that'll do me. Right, the last one then, the Champion Chase is kind of one that divides opinions on Twitter and socials and things like that. I'll come to you, Sean, mate. John Bon. Everyone says that he hates Cheltenham. What do you make of the Champion Chase field? I mean, is it just John Bonds to win? You've got Gaelic Warrior in there, Nergamine. Solness obviously has improved quite a lot over his last couple of runs. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think the ground is going to be the biggest factor in the Champion Chase this year. I think good the soft ground. I think John Bon is going to be pretty unbeatable in it. It will probably bring Solness into play a bit more if the ground is good. But look, I think John Bon will be definitely classy enough horse to breeze by him. But I think if the ground is soft or heavy, it'll bring Gaelic Warrior and Energamine back into it, and I'd be a huge advantage for them. Well, I think it will be a bit of a disadvantage to John Bon. I think Energamine is probably a better horse anyway. I just don't know if Gaelic Warrior is really good enough as well. But yeah, I think the ground is the big thing. If Energamine gets soft to heavy ground, I think he definitely give it a crack to John Bon. But if the ground is just nice, I think John Bon looks pretty unopposable in it. He's been very solid this year. Seems to be getting better nearly year on year as well. And I wouldn't be too worried about the Cheltenham factor either. It wouldn't be something that I'd be worried about. I think he's been pretty solid enough around there enough times too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, when you look back at who he's been beaten by, you're talking Constitution Hill or Fabiola as a novice. You know, it's not like it's silly form. He still comes second. He still run well. I agree with you there on the ground. Although, like I say, Ascot for a John Bomb, the ground was good. He's beaten Ergamine. And Ergamine definitely improves soft every ground. I were there for both these champion chase wins, and you know, especially the second one, it were obviously a deluge of rain. I remember it very, very well. Rich, I mean, you know, you've obviously put Gaelic Warrior up early season before anything kind of run on one of the earlier shows. What do you make of it now? Do you think you can get past John Bon? He'll even go here if it's decent ground. Will he go here? Will he go Ryanair? What do you think?
I think they may divert to the Ryanair, but like I say, if it did turn up soft, heavy, potentially I can see him running an Ergamine and Gaelic Warrior together. I have been burnt many times in this race with the likes of Stateman, El Fabiolo, there's a JP horse. Always something seems to happen. However, I think John Bon is solid. I think he'd have won it last year, to be honest. If Nicky had ran him, I think he'd have won. This needs to be his year, and he's 9 now. He is getting to an age where there's not going to be many champion chases left, but you can't knock his record. He's won like 11 grade 1s or something stupid. He is.
Yeah.
He is a class animal.
Yes,
And I mean, it's going to cut up, I think, in it. I mean, El Fabio potentially is not going to turn up. Edward Stone, he's beaten him numerous times. Bambridge, I think he's going to the Gold Cup, I think I read somewhere. Gaelic Warrior may not run. Illy Francais, potentially Ryanair. I mean, what's he going to have to beat? Marine Nationale?
Solness, can Solness turn around 25 lengths?
I mean, they run differently now, didn't they? I think when they first met, I think his running style was completely different. I just can't say. I think John Bon is just a classier animal. I mean, he jumps for fun. Cheltenham is the question mark. Does he not like Cheltenham? There's an argument for and against. I can see it. I mean, the times he's been beaten at Cheltenham, he completely clattered a fence and still nearly won by a neck. And obviously, he got beaten by El Fabio in the Arkle and Constitution Hill. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it was bad form. He's just run into some decent horses and he got unlucky one. So, yeah, I think it's John Bon's to lose, isn't it, personally?
Yeah, I mean, I come to you, Joe. You know, like Rich says there, it's very likely it could cut up. I mean, I don't know how much rain we're going to get. Obviously, with 2 weeks out, sort of good to soft ground is going to be hard to beat. Do you see anything at a big price maybe creeping into it? What about Captain Guinness? If it comes up good, he could be a big price.
He could, mate, but I don't know. I feel like I'd like to hear sort of Sean's say on this, but I think John Bon's the perfect racehorse, you know, as he is now. You know, when he was younger, he was very buzzy. And you just look at him now, I feel like Nico can slow him down into fences, let him pop them, then he can go into them and really try and gain length. He done it against Energamine. Energamine jumped some fences absolutely brilliant. He didn't jump, you know, right the way through. But a lot of fences you'd probably say he should make. But Nico just pressed the button, got him over, and straight away he just pricked his ears and was back on the bridle. I just thought that the last day out, he really showed that he is a very, very good racehorse. He's got every attribute. I think he's definitely the more solid. Like Rich said, this race has a tendency to sort of burn the punters and back the bookies. I would sort of go with John Bon, but I think the price is short enough. I mean, the race could massively cut up. And if the race cuts up and it goes good on the day, you know, I think John Bon could be a lot shorter. But Sean, what do you think? I've heard a lot of people say, but John Bon being sort of the perfect racehorse now.
Yeah, I think definitely the last couple of years are definitely into this year. He seems to be very straightforward, doing everything really well. Doesn't obviously get as excited as he was pre-race and stuff. He used to be quite sweaty and get worked up a bit, but he seems to be so very straightforward. In fairness, his jumping has always been very good. And I'd say he is a dream ride for Nico. He can I don't think Nico will be too worried how fast they go or if they're, which I'm sure there will be pace anyway, or what kind of tactics anybody else uses. I'd say Nico will be happy enough just to keep it simple enough with his lad and he can kind of take it as it comes, whatever way it happens.
Yeah, I bet that plays a massive part in sort of races like this. I know I've heard it probably the most I've ever heard it in terms of horses coming this year, buzzy horses who aren't sort of mentally there. You know, I've heard a lot of talk about Kopek de Boards. I know he's short in the Supreme, but the way he's sort of travelled and, you know, mentally wise, is he there? Obviously, I think this plays a massive part in John Bond's sort of swing, and I think it is so important. And, you know, you look through the market, and I think he is definitely the one to beat.
Yeah, so good point, Sal. I like to say, I think it is John Bonster though. If he don't win this one, I don't think he's ever going to win one, because I think there'll be a few others knocking about next season. But we'll certainly find out who goes and who wins. Fingers crossed it's him. Right, that's sort of that for that section. I'm going to come to you now, Sean, if I can. I've just got a bit of a list of horses that you've ridden and things like that. We'll just got to go through them and just get your thoughts on some of the races. You've obviously running some good races. The first one I've got here is Lachlan. Obviously, you were second on him to high class here at Punchestown. So, what did you make of that race and him coming out of that race?
Yeah, look, he's improving. I suppose he got a bit closer to high class hero than he did in his first run of the season. And I thought he ran pretty well at Navan as well. You know, he's definitely going the right direction, and he's getting a bit of experience now. And look, hopefully he'll be races in him in the future over fences. I think high class hero could be an interesting one going to the Brown Advisory as well. Actually, you know, he's a very solid horse, and I think he jumps well. And I'd say he mightn't be actually too far away on the day at a big price in that too. Actually, yeah.
I love it. Yeah, he's a good horse as well. He's active too, so I think there's some good form there. The next one then I've got is the Great Nudie. You actually rode second behind William Money, who a lot of people are sort of talking up as an each way playing the Supreme. What did you make of that race? And what do you make of William Money going past you? What did you think of that?
Yeah, well, look, in fairness, I went a good gallop now on the Great Nudie to set a good test. And, you know, fairness, Sean Flanagan arrived alongside me going pretty easy now. And William Money, like, it was pretty easy stuff for him. Now, look, he'd probably want to be doing that going into a Supreme now in what grade he ran in the other day. But I suppose it kind of showed the rest of the horses in the race did finish quite tired, and nothing else was getting close to my mare to finish second. Like, so you definitely have to be impressed with him. He still is quite keen. So look, yeah, Supreme, a fast pace will definitely help him, but you'd be a bit worried maybe about the preliminaries and early in the race that really just relax enough to get home. You know, I think in stepping into the Supreme, he'll need to do things right. Like he couldn't win a maiden hurdle, being a bit keen and stuff. So look, he'll have to do things well if he's going to win. If he's going to be close in the Supreme as well.
Yeah, I love that. We'll keep an eye on those. King of Love, I've got here. You're sort of staying on third. Reckon he's got maybe a handicap in him going forward?
Yeah, he was third the other day in Punchestown. Yeah, it was a step in the right direction for him. So yeah, he'd be hoping, natural progression again. He'd be hoping to be racing him in the not so distant future. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's one here I've got that I actually backed for the bumper last year. Western Diego, you were second to Spring de la Mer at Punchestown the other day. What did you make of him going forward?
Yeah, he had a nice run there. He had a nice run in Leopardstown first run of the season too, and then ran at Gorn. And look, probably got the run of the race a bit, got an easy enough lead there in Punchestown the other day. But in fairness, he was jumping well and things, and he's probably another one there that, look, hopefully he'll pop up in a race there, maybe in the spring or even into next year as well. Like he seems to be a horse that's maturing mentally a bit as well. So, but yeah, look, you'd like to think there'll be races to be won with him too in the future.
Do you think they'll stay over hurdles with him, or will he be like a chaser? Do you think?
Yeah, no, I'd say he'll be chasing. Yeah. I'd say chasing will be his game. Yeah,
we'll definitely keep an eye on him because he's one I've liked quite well actually. A Tip for Gold, another one in a pretty strong race, third behind Jacob's Ladder. What do you think? You think he'll be able to get a win out of him at some point? Obviously, good form.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a good run the other day. And look, I suppose Declan Queally doesn't have him too long. I think that was his third run for Declan. So, yeah, look, that was a good run against some solid horses. So, I think hopefully he'll improve a bit more as well, and he'll be a nice horse going forward too. Yeah.
Love that. Another one then I've got here. I don't want it to sound like I'm just sort of rattling him off, but Lady Vega Allen. Now you've obviously come second and third behind Hello Neighbour. Obviously, we're looking at the Triumph here. Do you see any way you could that horse could reverse that form, or do you think going for the Triumph?
Yeah, I definitely give her a chance going there. I thought it was a messy enough race in Leopardstown the last day. We didn't go overly quick off a steady gallop, and I'd say she's a mare that will stay well. Strong gallop in Cheltenham's Triumph on the new course. So stiff enough, test the stamina. So could bring her more into play. I definitely wouldn't rule her out. Getting very close to Gavin Cromwell's horse again. Or not maybe turning it around. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a key point. Sort of when we ask you sort of questions like, obviously we can sort of go off what we can see as much, but when we speak to you guys and you tell us maybe that a race wasn't exactly run in a way we maybe think it is, it's always good little nuggets. You're sort of saying it was a bit of a steadily run race. It's quite interesting that obviously a Triumph isn't going to be that, is it? So fingers crossed she can maybe get a bit closer. The next one then I've got is a pretty well known and well liked horse, Sandorkle again. You've been fourth behind. Owned by the Lee at Leopardstown, fourth to Rocky's Diamond at Goran. Do you think they're looking at maybe stayers, or do you think they're going to drop into maybe a handicap? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure where he's going yet now. I think he's entering the Carl Cup there now as well. And he's still in the stairs hurdle, so I'm not sure which way they're going to go with him yet. But I think his run obviously travelled pretty well in Leopardstown, and I thought his run in Goran was a step forward from that as well. He seemed to hit the line a bit stronger. So look, we're hoping he's getting back in the right direction again, and he's a horse that has a lot of consistent good runs through his farm. So it'd be just great now to be great to be able to get his head back in front soon as well.
Yeah, I think if he dropped into like a Coral Cup, I mean, he's off 147. I think he'd have a pretty good chance in that. I'd love to see him run well. Sounds Victorious. You rode him fifth in the Nathaniel Lacey. I sort of spoke about him on our podcast when we previewed it as a horse that might get beat in that and then go well in something like an Albert Bartlett, up in trip and things like that. What do you think on that? Do you think he needs more of a trip?
Yeah, I think so. I'd say the extra couple of furlongs, proper stamina tests could improve him a bit. Look, he will have to improve a nice bit from that run at Leopardstown to get really involved. But look, I think he stays really well. So look at a stronger gallop and stronger staying test. You definitely couldn't rule him out in it. Yeah, he could be at a big enough price in that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty juicy price. So when you think of a horse that maybe just needs that proper stamina test, I think it could suit him. It could be one that comes into it. Moving on, last few now. I've got I'll try and pronounce it right. I don't want to butcher it too much, but a Penderg, is that right? You won them last twice.
He's been given yeah.
Yeah, he's been given a UK mark now, 134. Do you think he could go well in any sort of the Cheltenham handicaps potentially?
Yeah, he definitely could. He seems to have turned a corner there around Christmas. When he won at Christmas there, and he stepped forward a nice bit to win at Leopardstown again. I thought he was even better at the Dublin Racing Festival. So look, we hope maybe if he can improve again, he'll probably need to. He's gone a nice bit up in the weights again in the ratings, but look, he'll be getting into the Grand Annual there. He's in a couple of the handicaps at lightweight again, and look the way he's going, it definitely have to give him a chance. He seems to like that kind of good kind of race, the good pace in front of him as well. He seems to be able to stay going well off it. So he'd be one they'd be looking forward to.
Yeah, I think something like a Grand Annual might suit him down to the ground. To be fair, love that. A feat of a dancer. Then you've been third on him the last 3 times. He's been given a UK mark of 136 now. He's in the Potemps, I believe. Now that he's qualified, I think he's also in the Coral as well. Do you think either one of them would suit him? Do you think the 3 mile or a little bit less? What do you think?
I'd say she could go to Potemps. Be looking forward to her there. She did get an extra few pounds there now. All right. On her English rating today. But I was happy with her run at the Potemps qualifier Christmas. she probably ran a little bit keen that day. We kind of rode her to how we similar would ride her, but that maybe we'll just get her to relax a bit more, stepping up to the 3 mile trip, and I think she'll be able to see it out a bit better. But she's definitely one I would be looking forward to going there at Cheltenham. Yeah.
Perfect. The last few then, Conyers Hill. He won on him last time off 1-2-4. He's off 1-2-9. He's been given a little bit more by the UK one, but again, he's in the Grand Annual. Is he the sort of horse maybe could go there?
Yeah, he could do. Not 100% sure on the plans with him yet, but yeah, look, he won in Down Royal, just by about a head or a neck or that. But look, I think that was his first handicap, so I think he'd have to improve a bit on that. He'd have a lightweight again if he did go to Cheltenham, and look, a strong travelling horse. I think he's a horse that there'll be more races to be had with him too, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some nice handicapped horses in the list, so the ones we're definitely going to keep on side anyway. If I were a Richmond's another one, obviously won at Puncher's Time before I fell behind Lecky Watson. Has he come out of that okay? Is there anything targeted for him, or what do you think might suit him next?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the plan is with him there. He's not in Cheltenham. But he's a horse that was seemed to be improving a lot. Won really well at Punchestown, and then was running a cracker in that graded race again. So look, I'd be looking forward when he does get out again. Because he seemed to be really going the right way. In fairness to him, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he would have probably come second. But I mean, Lecky Watson's no more, as we know, so I think he would have run a big race there. And it's glad to know he's come out of that all right. And we'll see where he goes next. Last two then. I've got one called Far From Nowhere, point bumper winner now, was one a maiden hurdle under yourself quite comfortably. Could she be something for the Mares Novice? I think she's entered in it. Do you think they might go? What do you think?
I'm not sure if it's in her plans to go there now. But she is a very nice mare, and in fairness, she's done nothing wrong in her career so far, winning point to point, bumper and a maiden hurdle. So she's a really very likeable mare. So I'm not 100% sure now where she'll go next. But she definitely want to keep an eye on wherever she does turn up again.
Yeah, I thought she looked really good last day, so fingers crossed she can go. She'll definitely pick up races for sure. The last one I've got then is actually a horse called. I actually put this horse up for the Mares Chase last year. She bolted up in a race at Limerick that was kind of a telling race for it, but she didn't go in the end. She got beat, and she had 2 poor showings this year. But Heretier, how are you going to get a win out of this horse, Sean? Come on, tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how you pronounce it.
A tour, yeah, I think that's how she goes by, yeah. Look, she in fairness, she's a good solid mare. She's probably stuck in maybe a bit of a hard place with in them graded races against some of the top quality mares. But look, in fairness, she runs a lot of solid races and is never too far away. So look, she get the bounce of the ball there someday, and hopefully it'll fall right for her. Yeah.
I hope so. I'll just keep back in the blind now, even though I probably shouldn't do. But fingers crossed, we get a win out of it at some point. But no,
I've just got one that you've not mentioned.
Go on then, Rich. You got one to fire away before we move on to the next bit?
Yeah, it's a quick one, Sean. You rode Place Dillination, I think, a filly for Gigginstown. I think she finished second to Caroline Bamboo in February. I mean, she was only a 4-year-old, so I think she ran pretty well, giving it a UK debut. I just wonder what you thought of her. Do you think there's more to come with a bit more experience? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, she had a nice run. Fairness, Caroline Bamboo's a very, very nice mare. So, yeah, no, we're delighted with that run that day, and she'll be definitely one to keep an eye on for the future. Yeah, I think she'll have a bright future. Yeah. Sure.
Lovely. Well, that's it for the grilling, Sean. So we do.
Yeah.
I've
got one more. Joe's got one more.
No, I've just got 25. Let me get my sheet out.
Try and get as much information. I know it can sound a bit of a grilling sometimes, but we do appreciate your little nuggets and little bits of information, because it does help us, and it's great. So we do thank you for that. Honestly, thank you for that.
Yeah,
right. So the next bit, we normally ask for 2 horses to follow. Now, obviously, we've been through a lot of them there, so it could be something we've mentioned or something, I don't know, maybe you're working, riding something, just anything, 2 horses that we're maybe seeing or not seeing, you think, following next time or over next sort of season or so. Have you got 2 for us?
Yeah, I suppose I think the one going for the champion bumper, Copacabana. I think I was really impressed with him and Navan when he won. I think that looked a hot race on paper. I think plenty of trainers fancied their horses that day, and he seemed to kind of brush them aside pretty easily. And he's probably a horse that's not overly flashy, so I think to actually look pretty impressive on the day there, I think was a good performance, and I definitely like him going towards champion bumper and even towards the future, even the future as well. I'd say he could be a horse with a bright future. Yeah, and then I suppose another one is pretty obvious there now. Kopek the boards, but I think he's what he's done on the track has been very impressive, and I think he's a horse to follow for the future. I think he's a real superstar in the making. I think he's well capable of going right to the top in whatever role he takes. But I think he's the amount of natural ability he holds is huge, and he'd be definitely a horse that I think is future superstar potential. Yeah.
Just a quick one on Quebec the Boards. I mean, thank you for those 2. What do you make of so were you in and around him at the DRF? What do you make of his sort of temperament? A lot of people are sort of saying, "Oh, will he handle the preliminaries at Cheltenham and things like that?" What do you make of that point?
Yeah, look, that is probably the only worry I think going there. But look, in fairness, I think he's had a couple of runs. I think probably he's ran a Leopardstown at Christmas, which is obviously a big day and big crowd as well, and Dublin Racing Festival. So look, he's ran on 2 big days in Leopardstown, a big crowd. So at least he has that under his belt, rather than maybe running at a quite midweek meeting. But look, I think the engine is big enough for him to overcome. Maybe running a bit keen or getting a bit worked up. I think he'll be good enough to overcome any of those sort of factors even on the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, I've watched that race back multiple times, and a couple of things do sort of go. I mean, the loose horse causing all sorts of issues, and he's handled all that and still won. Well, by a mile, it were fantastic. I think he's an aeroplane anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that for us then. Cheers for those, Sean, and thanks for that sort of segment.
Yeah.
Last bit for us then, before I start coughing again. Excuse me. Is that we're going to do 1 anti-post selection each. So I'm going to start with you, Rich. We've obviously got 7 selections up so far. I'm not going to go through them because some of them are an absolute pile of. I won't say that next word. But Rich, have you got something that you're going to finish strong with? And then we'll do Joe and me, and then we'll finish with Sean, and we'll get Sean's thoughts on each one as well. And what's your final selection of the series, mate? Take it away.
Well, it was looking all right until the DRF, and then it's all just come tumbling down like a deck of cards. My last pick, I'm going to go for a handicap, and it's the county, and I'm going to go for Valgrand for Skeltons. I mean, we saw his win at the start of the season at Cheltenham in October. He beat Garm Mailer by 17 lengths. I mean, he bolted up that day over 2 miles, good ground. He was a grade 2. He won that off 118, I think it was. He got put up to 140, I think it was, when he finished second behind Potter's Charm over 2.5. He didn't stay that trip. They immediately dropped him back down to 2 miles. He's run no sort of race the next twice. I mean, he was in a handicap in December at Cheltenham, finished 10th to 14th, then finished 7th of 8th at Kempton. I think they were just sort of runs to try and reduce that mark. I mean, I think he's down to 134 now. I think Dan Skelton, I've seen a couple of interviews from like the Racing Post and stuff saying that they think they've got him right again. They think he's going to be a better horse fresh. All these sort of things. If it's good ground, he's going to be a good each way sort of chance. He's the only horse that got entered because I know James was it Country Mile? He thought potentially might run here instead.
Yeah, well, we asked Harry Skelton when he come on, was it going to be, which one was it going to be? He sort of said only one will go, and obviously Country Mile's not in it anymore, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, Skelton's loved the handicaps. I just think he's one that he bolted at the start of the season, showed his ability, and yeah, they kind of had this in mind and giving him a fresh up. Last one was at Christmas time, something like that. And yeah, I think he'll go well as long as it's not a bog. Hopefully, the rain stays away.
Well, fingers crossed for you, mate. I mean, Sean, sort of counts a hurdle. Obviously, observant of last year, going to be in it here again. You've got horses like Calgeezy being talked for it, Valgrand potentially plotted for it. What do you make of the county hurdle scene in Valgrand?
Yeah, this was very interesting. There, Rich was saying, and I think you definitely have to be very wary of the Skeletons. I think key factor that he looks like he's the only one they're going to have in it. You know, they're well able to line one up for a handicap in Cheltenham. And you said maybe they probably had this in mind maybe for a little while, and it's just got him down the handicap a little bit. So he'll have a very nice way in there. So yeah, I'd be definitely it wouldn't be ruling them out now. Yeah, Skeleton's very dangerous in them handicaps.
Yeah, they're pretty good at getting one handicapped, aren't they? Joe, go on then, mate. So Rich has gone for Valgrand in his final selection. Your team's looking. Oh, well, is your team looking any good at all? I mean, you've missed a couple of shows and things like that, so we'll kind of let you off. But
I did have Sergino. What price was that? I seen it along the bottom.
I think you had.
Mars were 10-1 at Browns. That was wrong, but decent horse. Lossiemouth Mares, Sergino 7-1 Arkle.
Have you got any runners left, Joe? Is anyone going?
No.
No, you might have to add a couple in extras, but what's your final selection then, Joe? Take it away, mate. I just find one that's going to run in a race. My God.
You can have Connell if you want, Joe. Just pick Connell for the champion hurdle.
I mean, before
give you even Connell if you want.
I'm certain I've got the text of Rich saying Lossiemouth beats Conhill. But yeah, no, for my final, one of my final picks, I'm going to pick Jade DeGrugy for the Mares Hurdle. I seen David Casey in a podcast pick her. He mentioned her a few times. We spoke about the champion hurdle, and I think all the mares will end up here. She's a mare with a lot of talent. She's only beaten once. She hasn't ran very many times. She was beaten in the Brighter Days Ahead race. She was very, very keen. Short of room on the bend. Was only beaten 4 lengths that day, and it turned into a bit of a sprint. It was a bit of a messy race. I watched the interview after the race with Willie when she won at Punchestown a few weeks ago, was it now? Yeah. And she was sort of entitled to do that. But I think when you look at the market, and I've just looked at the betting there, you can still get 5-2 now, but a lot of moved into 13-8, 7-4. You can get 5-2 in 365 and William Hill still. I think that is a decent price. I think if the top 2 sort of move out the way, I think this girl will be a lot shorter. And all I'm saying is the double with Kopek de Boards pays 5-1. I think that's a pretty good price.
No, I mean, Sean, obviously we spoke about Brighter Days Ahead, hopefully going for the champion hurdle and making that a belting race. Does that leave the mares to Jade DeGrugy? You got horses like July Flower in here and horses like that. What do you think of that?
Jade DeGrugy's better than that.
Yeah, look, it looks like it is going to cut up a bit there. Like you're going to hope that Brighter Days Ahead and Lossiemouth are going for the champion hurdle. I thought Jade DeGrugy, I was impressed with her at Punchestown. The last day was her first run in a while, so I think she come forward a bit from that as well. And I think the stepping up to 2.5 would be a big help for her. She won the 2.5 Grade 1 in Fairy House last year, I think, after getting beat over 2 miles in Cheltenham. So I think she's mare to probably stay as well.
And that was on hilly ground as well, wasn't it? So she's going to stay that.
Yeah, that's it. Like I think 2 miles is probably. I think she's going to be a better mare over 2.5 than maybe 2 miles. So I'd say I'd probably agree with Joe there. I'd say she's probably still a nice enough price there that she'd probably be short on the day when if Brighter Days Ahead doesn't turn up there, goes to the champion hurdle and things. So yeah, I'd be giving her a big chance in that as well.
Well, good luck to you, Joe. I hope she should run, really. You'd like to think she's going to be a runner for you, so you'll at least have one runner.
Yeah, I mean, my luck last year, I think I got El Fabiola at a decent price, captained him, obviously no good, and then Sergino, and got it the wrong way. Fingers crossed.
Well, I had Gina for the Triumph last year, and I sort of stayed away. Well, I missed the price this year, so in a way, it was a bit lucky that I did. But hopefully, Sergino comes back all right and goes well next season. My last selection, then, I'm going to go for the National Chase or the National Novices Handicap Chase, and I'm going to put up Transmission at 9-1. I think this has got a right chance. I think he's a proper stayer. I think he's been laid out for it. Started the season with a nice second behind Highland at Cheltenham. He's got the Cheltenham sort of experience. Obviously won the next day. It was a little bit of a weaker race, but won really well. Showed a good turn of foot and staying power. I was really impressed by that. Second to Hattie Kalaz, who a lot of people like for this, but was held up massively miles off the pace. Stayed on for second. £4 swing with Hattie Kalaz. I think he had a hurdle spin in the cleave. Come last, just one of those. I think protecting the mark most likely. I think going up in trip, like I say, better off at the weights. I think he's got a right chance. I like him. I'm going to take him at 9-1 and see how he gets on. What do you think of that, Sean? What do you think of the National Chase Handicap?
Yeah, I suppose it's going to be a different type of race this year, being a handicap. So, a little bit harder to probably try and work out maybe. But yeah, look, I think your selection Transmission, yeah, as you said, he probably just had a nice little spin around there the last day as well. So he's probably been lined up for probably this race in mind for a while. See maybe Gavin Cromwell's horse Now Is the Hour. Probably, I'd say they probably had this race in mind all year as well. And Gavin, very dangerous man too in a handicap. Have you seen winning plenty of handicaps this year in Ireland? So I think he's definitely going to have a handicap winner in Cheltenham over the week. So I'd say Now Is the Hour being there high enough on his list too.
Yeah, he obviously got back. Got pretty well backed before his last run. He's now 72 favourite. 139. Yeah, I mean, Rich, can I have each way on this? I think he's definitely be out of place anyway.
Do you want to? Yeah, have a point each way.
I might take each way on that 9-1. 1 point each way. Stick that one in there.
Yeah.
5 places as well. If that's all right with you, Rich. Cheers, mate. Right then, Sean. So finishes off there, mate. Have you got an anti-post selection for us to finish off the guest teams?
Yeah. So I have picked out Nürburgring. Nürburgring.
Yes, I backed him today.
we like that one, I think, Sean. We like that one, mate. Yeah.
Happy enough with that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it was probably one that was maybe keeping an eye out for this race as well all year. The weights come out there today. I think he's a marker 143. Is it? So look, he's a little bit lower. I think he was up to 150 or that over hurdles. So, Galway hurdle winner, like, he's a very classy horse that probably no problem staying the 2.5 mile trip as well. His jumping probably will need to sharpen up a little bit, but I'd imagine they'd work nicely on that to get him sharpened for Cheltenham. And I'd say he's definitely a horse that's probably been nicely enough treated there at the weights as well.
He'll be jumping like Jumbo at home. They'll have just held him up into them fences.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but look, I think he's definitely better horse than what he's shown so far over fences. So
a lot of experience.
Yeah, he does a lot of racing experience as well. In fairness, and look, Galway hurdle winner as well. Like, he is a classy horse too.
And 8-1, I think, is a cracking bet. I completely agree with you, Sean. This is obviously a race now that's changed to an handicap. We'll see who falls in this, but I think you're going to have a lot that are sort of laid out for it. I think he's definitely one of them, and I think he's going to run very, very well. And fingers crossed for you, mate. And hopefully we've all backed him, so fingers crossed he goes and wins.
Yeah,
Right, that's it. That's us for another episode. That's it for the series then. The Cheltenham Festival Countdown series is finished. That was a good, solid 8 episodes. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. Obviously, Hacked Up Racing sort of sponsored and partnered with the show. We have the competition running, so make sure you're all into your final selections in the comments. We'll get all those sorted out, and then we'll award the winners the winner after the festival. So the best team wins, sort of thing. You get a G-lay and all sorts of stuff. So it's a good price to get hold of. Sean, obviously, thank you for coming on, mate. We really do appreciate you giving your time and your insight. Hope you've enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, no, it's good chat. And few good tips there, so I'd say from the lads too.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
change.
Well, yeah, for a change. Yeah, with a bit of luck, we've got some winners.
Hopefully, Joe will have a runner in Cheltenham anyway.
I'm just waiting for Jade the Grusin on runner. She's going to skip and go down or something. I can see it.
I know. Yeah.
Oh, well, good luck to you for the rest of the season, Sean. Good luck for the rest of your rides and things like that. We hope we get some more winners. Have you lads got anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Just thanks. I mean, when we first started, we never thought we'd have guests like this on, did we? And it's just brilliant to hear from you guys. You know, like the insights when you're up against them, and you've obviously got a different insight and stuff like that. It's just brilliant. So yeah, thanks for giving up your time. We really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
Final word, Rich?
Yeah, last episode, it's been good, hasn't it? I mean, this is what it's like being a racing fan. Getting chat to jockeys is what it's all about. We've had jockeys come on again for the second season. New jockeys come on like Sean. Yeah, it's great. You just can't beat it, can you?
No, and hopefully we'll actually get a couple of winners. We kind of did okay last season. Whether we beat that this season, I don't know. I'm praying on the Captain Galloping the Champ doing the business. I think he's my only saviour.
I think I had one winner, so if I can beat one, I'll be quite happy.
Yeah, but what price was that one winner, Rich?
It was 20-1.
It was 20-1,
yeah.
So sometimes you only need one. But yeah, obviously, thank you everybody for watching. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you've enjoyed the series. Sort of goodbye from us. Cheers again, Sean, for coming on. And for the Cheltenham Festival Countdown show, that's it. So thanks everybody. Good night and goodbye.
Thanks,
Cheers,
James.
Sean. See you later. Bye.
Cheers, Sean. Bye-bye.
See you.